At my housewarming BBQ, my sister raised her glass and said, "Just knock through a wall so we can have our own entrance. We'll stay long term, so we'll need it." My mom laughed and called it practical. I didn't shout. I raised my glass and said this. The next day, my mom called me in a panic because forks froze midair. You could hear the fizz in the soda bottles, the snap of the plastic tablecloth shifting in the wind. That's how fast the air went out of the backyard. People laughed, but not the right kind of laugh. Not joy, not amusement. The kind of laugh that comes out sharp and desperate when everyone realizes they've just been drafted into somebody else's insanity and they don't know how to opt out. My sister didn't laugh. She didn't even smile. She just tipped her glass like a queen blessing her audience. Her boyfriend nodded along, already scrolling his phone like he was about to schedule the renovation. I felt my jaw lock so hard it could have cracked enamel. My mom was the first to fill the silence. She giggled, high-pitched, shaky, like a balloon squealing at the end of a knot. "Well," she said, "it's practical." Practical. As if tearing a hole in my brand-new house so my freeloading sister and her leech of a boyfriend could waltz in with their endless drama was a reasonable, everyday, oh-so-normal request. I didn't laugh. I didn't giggle. My hand tightened on my glass. The carbonation hissed up my throat. I thought, here it comes. The moment I say the thing everyone pretends they didn't hear. Because that's my role. The responsible one. The buzzkill. The woman who ruins brunches and BBQs by acknowledging reality out loud. The smell of burnt burgers hung in the air. My aunt coughed into her wine glass. My cousin leaned back in his chair like he was settling in for a show. I raised my glass, kept my tone even. "Cute joke," I said. "But just so everyone's clear, this house is for me, my husband, and my 2 kids. No one else. There will be no extra tenants, no new entrances, and no moving in." The silence after that was different. Heavier. My mom's smile froze on her face. My sister blinked once, slow, like she couldn't process the words. Her boyfriend smirked, the kind of smirk you only see on men who've never bought a single stick of furniture in their life. And then, the silence cracked. My aunt let out a laugh that was just a shade too loud. My mom grabbed the breadbasket like carbs could patch this over. Someone muttered, "Oh, she's serious," under their breath. I sat there holding my glass, pulse hammering in my ears. For half a second, I thought I'd done it. I thought the conversation was over, but of course, with my family, it's never over. My sister leaned back in her chair, sunglasses sliding down her nose, smirk curling at the edge of her mouth. "We're family," she said, slow and deliberate, like she was teaching me a lesson I was too dense to learn. "Family doesn't slam doors." Her boyfriend tapped his phone. I knew that tap. The caption was already writing itself in his head. I glanced around the table. My aunt stared into her potato salad like she'd lost a staring contest. My cousin avoided eye contact, shoving chips into his mouth like maybe crunching loudly enough would make him invisible. And my mom, sweet, anxious, perpetually over-apologizing, put her hand on my arm and whispered, "We'll talk." I know what "we'll talk" means. It means I'll be the one who pays. It means compromise, which in my family is just a polite word for surrender. I drained my glass instead, watched the bubbles climb, told myself I could leave at any time, told myself I was in control. But control is slippery in my family. You think you've got a grip, and then it slides away, leaving you holding nothing but the fallout. The BBQ stumbled forward. People forced small talk about football and vacations, but the tension hung in the air like smoke. My sister lounged back in her chair, sunglasses low, sipping her drink like she'd just announced royal law. Every laugh from her felt aimed at me. My kids tore across the yard, ketchup-stained and laughing, and something cold settled under my ribs. This wasn't about walls or entrances. It was about them. My children, my home, my sanity. And I knew this wasn't the end. In my family, outrageous demands aren't jokes. They're blueprints. I thought drawing that line in public would be enough, that maybe silence would finally mean respect. I was wrong. The very next morning, my mom called me in a panic about something my sister had done, something that would change everything. There would be no coming back from it. If you think my sister's little toast at the BBQ came out of nowhere, I wish you were right. It wasn't random. It was the natural next step in a long, ugly pattern. Because in my family, entitlement isn't a phase. It's a tradition. Let me rewind. I've always been the one with the lists, the plans, the envelopes labeled "Do Not Touch." I don't do it because I like rules. I do it because chaos was the wallpaper of my childhood, and someone had to patch the holes. Spoiler, it wasn't my sister. She was the fun one, the spark. The one Mom always called spirited when she really meant unhinged. You know the type. The kid who can wreck an entire room, grin about it, and somehow walk away with candy someone else paid for. Meanwhile, I was the broom, the unpaid janitor of her messes. Take the temporary stays. That's what she called them. She'd come over just for a week, and then somehow still be there 2 months later, her stuff exploding through my closets like an invasive species. She never paid a dime. If I asked, she'd laugh. God, you're so transactional. Transactional in her dictionary means expects me to carry even 1% of my own weight. I started keeping a mental tally. Later, I'd keep real ones, because numbers don't lie, even if people do. Money was another game. Borrow 20, promise to pay it back, and then magically forget. If I reminded her, she'd tilt her head and say, "Petty much?" I learned quickly that in her world, loans are gifts, and keeping track makes you the villain. It wasn't just the money, it was the way she laughed at my parenting too. I once spent a Sunday night making a neat little chore chart for my kids, color-coded, laminated, magnets on the fridge. It lasted 12 hours before my sister snapped a photo and posted it as boot camp rules. The caption was, "Would you survive in this house of terror?" Comments flooded in. Hilarious. Controlling. Over the top. I didn't laugh. Mom's reaction? "Oh, lighten up." She's just being creative. That's another one of Mom's words. Translates to, she's making your life harder, but let's pretend it's art. That photo got likes, and likes are gasoline for my sister, because that was the beginning of the channel. At first it was thrift hauls and bad DIYs. Fine, harmless. But then it morphed. Suddenly, our family was the content. Our private moments, edited and served up with captions for strangers to chew on. Holiday dinners? She filmed them. Birthdays? She streamed them. She'd sneak little clips, post them, and brush it off when I noticed. Relax. It's just fun. Nobody even knows it's you. That wasn't true. They knew. You could see my house, my kids' toys, my handwriting on the damn fridge calendar. But here's the thing. Until the BBQ, she hadn't crossed one particular line. She never showed my children's faces. Maybe because she knew, deep down, that was a boundary even she couldn't talk her way out of. Or maybe she was just saving it for maximum impact. Either way, that line was waiting. And Mom, oh Mom, she's not malicious. She's just porous. She wants harmony so badly she'll let the roof cave in if it means no one's arguing while the ceiling falls. Her favorite line? Family sticks together. I heard it so many times it echoes in my sleep. You know what family sticks together meant in practice? It meant my sister sticks her hand in the cookie jar, and I stick my hand in my wallet to cover it. And when I tried to protest, Mom stuck me with guilt. So when I started looking at houses, I told almost no one. I saved quietly, sacrificed, lived like a monk. Because I knew. I knew the second my sister found out, she'd treat it like a group project she never signed up for but still deserved to pass. And I was right. I told Mom, because of course I did. And of course, Mom told my sister, I swear it's muscle memory for her at this point. My sister's reaction? Not congratulations. Not even surprise. Number. She grinned and said, "Can't wait to decorate my upstairs suite." She thought she was being cute. I thought she was being herself. By the time the housewarming barbecue rolled around, I'd braced myself. I just didn't know she'd be bold enough to toast to it in front of everyone as if my mortgage came with a guest wing labeled parasite housing. But looking back, why wouldn't she? She's always been rewarded for audacity. She makes a wild demand, everyone laughs nervously, Mom rushes in with, "Let's not fight," and I end up cleaning up the mess in silence. It's the family pattern. Until now. Because when she raised that glass and announced her new entrance, I didn't laugh. I didn't let it slide. I said no. In public. And here's the thing about breaking patterns. It doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like a gunshot in a library. Everyone freezes. No one knows what comes next. And what came next wasn't just fallout. It was escalation. Because in my family, silence has always been safety. The moment I broke it, there was no putting it back. The next morning, my phone rang before I'd even finished my first coffee. It was Mom. Now, Mom never calls early unless something's on fire. Literally or metaphorically. So I answered with that pit in my stomach, the one you get when you're bracing for impact. Her voice was too bright. Careful. Like a kindergarten teacher pretending the room isn't on fire. "So," she said, "you're not mad this morning, right?" "You're calm?" That's not how normal conversations begin. I narrowed my eyes, even though she couldn't see me. "Why would I be mad?" There was a pause. The kind of pause where you can hear someone scrambling for excuses. Then too quickly she said, "Oh, nothing. Nothing. Just, you know your sister. If you see anything online, don't overreact." There it was. I could hear it, plain as day. That tremor in her pitch. She was trying to sound calm, but underneath the words was pure panic. That's when I knew. My sister had done something. And if Mom was calling to pre-negotiate my reaction, it was bad. I hadn't even seen it yet, but my pulse was already pounding. I hung up, opened my phone, and there it was. The thumbnail stopped me cold. My front porch, my door. The video title, "Our Upstairs Suite Reveal." I clicked, and the pit in my stomach turned to ice. There was my house, my brand new house, filmed during the BBQ. My sister's voice, syrupy and smug. "Welcome to our new home." She strutted through the upstairs like a realtor on commission, pointing out windows, closets, the bathroom sink. She didn't own a single brick of it, but you wouldn't know it from the way she narrated. And then came the splice. My kids. Not blurred, not disguised. Their actual faces lifted straight out of old family group chats, birthday candles, backyard sprinklers, first day of school. And new footage, too. Clips she'd filmed at the BBQ without me noticing. My son squirting his sister with a water gun, both of them shrieking with laughter. She overlaid it with captions. "Our little downstairs roommates." The comments made my stomach twist. Not just the jokes about roommates, but the way strangers spoke about my children like they were up for public inspection. "She's such a beautiful little girl. I can't wait to see what she looks like when she grows up. That boy has the sweetest smile, but those teeth need fixing. She looks just like her mom. Lucky girl. Why dress him in clothes that don't fit? Poor kid. Her eyes are amazing, so striking for someone so young." Some sounded nice, some sounded critical, but all of them felt wrong. Every word was a reminder that strangers weren't just watching my children, they were dissecting them. Their smiles, their bodies, their futures. And beneath the surface of those so-called compliments, I felt the darker chill I didn't want to name. Because once you see a man with a username SweetTooth77 talking about your daughter's looks, you can't unsee it. That's when I felt something shift. Not anger, not even rage. Something colder, sharper. She didn't just cross a line. She erased it. I mirrored the video, saved screenshots, grabbed timestamps. Evidence first, fury second. Then I picked up the phone and called Mom back. We need to meet. Today. That afternoon, I dropped the kids at the neighbor's house with ice cream money and instructions not to come back until I texted. Then I headed to Mom's apartment, because if you're going to stage a family showdown, you might as well do it on neutral turf. My sister and her boyfriend were already there when I arrived. She was slouched on the couch in oversized sunglasses, like a tabloid star on day release. He had that smug, phone-in-hand energy that made my teeth grind. I walked in with a folder under my arm. Not a lawyer's folder. Not yet. Just a clean page with bullet points. My rules. At the door, I stopped. No phones. No filming. If a camera comes out, I walk. He laughed, but slid his phone into his pocket. For now. Mom tried to make it normal, bustling in with iced tea and cookies, like sugar could glue this back together. My sister didn't even sit up. I opened the folder and put the page on the table. My voice was steady, almost casual, like I was reading a grocery list. Ground rules. 1. All videos of my children come down immediately. 2. You never post or film them again. 3. You're not moving into my house. Not upstairs, not downstairs, not at all. 4. Visits are fine, but only planned. And never for content. The air got heavy. My sister picked up the page between 2 fingers, like it was something sticky. Then she laughed. What is this? A contract? With family? You've actually lost it. Her boyfriend tilted his phone half an inch, the camera catching the edge of the paper. This is gold, he muttered. People will eat this up. I pushed my chair back. Meeting's over. He lowered the phone fast. Smirk gone. My sister leaned forward, sunglasses sliding down, eyes glittering. Go ahead, play dictator. Print your little rules. But you can't control the internet. Once people see it, it's forever. Deleting won't matter. It's already everywhere. Her words landed like a dare. Mom wrung her hands, voice trembling. She didn't mean harm. Can't you just let this one go? I looked at her, at all of them, and I felt that cold steel settle in my chest. This isn't a negotiation, I said. It's my home. My children. If you use them for content again, there will be consequences. I pointed at the page still lying on the table. You don't get to monetize my children. And with that, I stood. I left the page where it was, turned, and walked out first. The door clicked shut behind me. For one delicious second, there was silence. The kind of silence that says maybe, just maybe, they finally understood. Then I heard it, my sister's voice, muffled through the door, hard and sharp. You think you can stop me? Watch me. I didn't turn back, but I knew, right then, this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. And what came next was worse than I could have imagined. That night, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Notifications stacked like falling bricks. Guess who didn't waste any time? My sister had posted again. The thumbnail. Her waving my one-page house rules like it was a comedy prop. Title, Dictator Sis Lays Down the Law. And a clown emoji. In the first 30 seconds, she called me controlling, paranoid, and the kind of mom who makes her kids sign contracts before dinner. Then she flashed clips of my children again. Old ones this time, pulled from family chats. Birthday candles, my daughter's missing tooth grin, my son in rain boots 2 sizes too big. She captioned it, Future Landlords in Training. That's when I knew we weren't in family drama territory anymore. This was war. I didn't comment. I didn't call. I didn't text. I compiled. Screenshots, timestamps, mirrored files, every violation, every post, every snide caption. By morning, I was at my lawyer's office with a USB drive that weighed less than my phone, but felt heavier than my entire family tree. She didn't laugh. She didn't say I was overreacting. She said one word: injunction. Meanwhile, my sister was still running her mouth online. Another video went up before lunch. Her standing outside my house with her boyfriend, filming themselves banging on my door. "Open up, landlord!" she shouted, like it was the punchline of a sitcom. He cackled behind the camera. I didn't answer the door. Instead, I answered my lawyer's email with a single line. Use this too, because if my sister thought she was making content, she was actually making my case. Here's how it played out. Step 1. Privacy complaints. The videos with my kids' faces, down within 48 hours. Platforms move fast when minors are involved. Step 2. Legal filings. My lawyer petitioned for an injunction, court order, black and white, telling my sister she was legally barred from filming or posting my children again. Step 3. Lawsuit. Damages for invasion of privacy, emotional distress, misuse of likeness. My lawyer called it straightforward. I called it justice with a paperclip. And my sister? She reacted exactly how you'd expect. She posted a video of herself waving the legal notice like a fan in church. "Look," she told her followers. "She's suing me. Can you believe it? My own sister. Over some silly videos. Silly. Tell me, is it still silly when your kids' faces are the thumbnails?" The comments split in two. Half her followers cheered her on. The other half turned on her like sharks smelling blood. Words like exploitative and entitled started showing up in the thread. Sponsors noticed. Silence where there used to be hashtags. The empire of harmless fun started cracking. The injunction came through. Official, binding, signed by a judge. From that moment, she had no choice. My kids were off limits. The lawsuit came next. She settled, of course. People like my sister don't like courtrooms unless there's a live stream option. She paid damages, covered part of my legal fees, and for once in her life had to hand over money instead of sucking it out of someone else. Watching her lawyer cut the check felt better than cake. The fallout was brutal. Her channel got flagged, demonetized, hit with strikes. No more easy money. No more brands. Her subscriber count dropped, leaving behind the trolls and the gawkers who just wanted to watch the crash. Her boyfriend ranted about cancel culture. He posted a teary rant about how families should stick together. Irony must be invisible at their house. And my sister? For once, she had nothing to say. Mom called, of course. Her voice was small, careful. "Do you really think it had to go this far?" I answered with the truth. "It went this far the second she put my kids online." Silence on the other end. She didn't argue. That was new. And me? I cut my sister off. Clean. No calls. No texts. No drop-ins. If she wants to reach me, she has to go through my lawyer. Spoiler, she hasn't. Because here's the thing about boundaries. Once you enforce them, they're not suggestions anymore. They're walls. And no, not the kind she can cut through for her own private entrance. My house is quiet now. Not empty quiet. Safe quiet. My kids chase each other down the hallway without a stranger's comment section waiting to weigh in. Laughter belongs to us again. Mom still visits sometimes. She brings candles, dish towels, lasagna, little peace offerings. She doesn't get a key. She doesn't ask. She stays within the lines. And I finally exhaled. If you're waiting for revenge, let me disappoint you. This isn't revenge. This is defense. This is me deciding that family isn't a free pass to exploit the people I love most. No is not cruelty. No is the frame that keeps my children safe. She lost her channel. I lost my silence, and I don't regret either. Because the truth? The real luxury isn't the house. It isn't the square footage or the mortgage or the fancy island in the kitchen. The real luxury is this. When the door clicks shut at night, it stays shut. And nobody, not even family, gets to kick it open again. So what do you think? Did I go too far or not far enough?